As a TA using Kritik, we have built several resources for you, including this video, to help get you up to speed on how you can effectively use Kritik to interact with students and ensure that the peer evaluation process goes smoothly. Before you get started, you'll need to create an account so that your professor can invite you to be a TA or co-instructor on the course they are using Kritik for. Visit kritik.io and click on Sign In/Sign Up. Once you are there, you will click on Don't Have an Account, Sign Up. You will select Instructor. If you have used Kritik in the past as a student, you will need to create a new account as an instructor, as your student account will not be given access to be used as a TA for the course. So you'll create a new account and click on Instructor. You'll confirm that you're an instructor and click on Instructor Sign Up. And you will choose your university by typing in the list below. I work at Kritik, so I will choose Kritik. Click on Continue to Last Step and fill in the information. Once you've signed up, you will be able to access your course. For you to get a better sense of what you will be doing in an example course, you can click on Collaborate on Course under Example Course 101. Click on Join as Collaborator, and you'll be able to get a view into a course that's in full swing and be able to see what capabilities and access you might have. Once you've created this course here, your professor will be able to invite you to their course as a TA by clicking on Course and scrolling down to TA/co-instructors and clicking on Invite Collaborators and pasting in the email that you used to create your TA/instructor account. Once they've done that, you'll be able to join their course. In terms of using Kritik, we can use this example course 101 to go through what you will need to do to make the Kritik experience effective for you and your students. In terms of a general overview of Kritik, for every activity that your professor creates, the activity will go through a three-stage process. The students will create a response to the question that's being asked of them in the activity. They'll then evaluate the responses of other peers based on the same activity, which will all be anonymous, and then they'll provide feedback on feedback to their peers based on the written quality of the comments given on their work. In terms of these three stages, there's not much that you'll need to do, as your work will come after the activity has entered the grading stage, meaning the students have gone through the three stages, and you'll notice that you'll have some flagged comments or grade disputes to resolve. At the various stages of each activity, you'll be able to see the percentage of completion from the class. In this particular activity, 56% of the class completed their creations, 89% of the class completed their evaluations, and 100% of the class completed their feedback. The activity is now, as indicated by this icon, in the grading stage where you can intervene. To resolve any comments or disputes, you can click on the activity, and you'll see that the schedule is in green with the green check mark for each of the three stages, indicating that the activity has gone through the three-stage process. You'll be able to see the objective and the instructions and the rubric that your professor used when creating the activity. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the student names, the submissions, and the progress along the three stages. At the default look, you can see the students' names, and you can also see where the issues are, as well as how far along they are. If you want to see the initial grades of the student's success within this activity, you can click on Progress and change it to Scoring, and click on the Create header to filter it from largest to smallest or smallest to largest. You can also filter the submissions by some of the issues you want to resolve. For example, the outstanding grade disputes. You'll see that you can filter by disputes, and it'll show you a list of the students who have disputes. The ones in red are the ones that require your attention and have the name highlighted in red. And the ones in green are the ones that you or your other TAs or instructor have already resolved. In terms of resolving a dispute, you can click on the student's name here, and you can see that Manage Dispute is in red and a disputed grade icon pops up at the top. Essentially, this is the Kritik process. Students will submit their work here in the creation. Then anonymously, other students will evaluate this work, whether it's in the text box or it's an attached file, and they'll fill out the rubric that was created by your instructor. And peer evaluation 1 is another peer in the class, and so several students can evaluate the same piece of work based on the rubric. In the evaluate stage, the students are expected to fill in the rubric that the professor created, and they're also expected to write a written comment. In terms of your interactions, you can comment on the student's work itself if you'd like by clicking on Comment on Creation, which will appear as a private comment to the students in a callout like this. And you can also comment on how students evaluated. So in terms of spot checking, you can click on any of the students' name to see their work and to see their written evaluations, and you can comment on them for them to appear like this here. You can also see who each student evaluated as well by clicking on the student's name and then clicking on the evaluation tab to see which students they evaluated. This information for you is private to you and the other co-instructors and TAs. Students will not be able to see the names of the people they're evaluating or the names of the people that have evaluated them. In terms of resolving disputes, we can filter up here by the creations as well as filtering by disputes. You can filter the flagged comments, and you can see that very easily in this list. So we'll start with the disputes. In the disputes, we have 2 that are outstanding. We have 3 that are actually graded, indicated by green, and we have 1 that is outstanding. If we click on John Doe, you'll see that he has disputed grade, and you can click on Manage Dispute. When a student disputes their grade, they have to leave a reason for it, and it'll appear in this box here. If you feel that the student's reasoning for wanting a higher grade is justified, you can click on Edit Score, and you can actually override the creation score that was given to him or her by the other students by simply hovering over the stars, whether you want to give half or full stars, or if you want to type in a more granular level, for example, 0.95, you can do that as well. Or you can just click on the stars. Once you click Save and Submit, a green book will appear indicating that you actually changed the grade for the student. For example, Sarah Jones has a resolved grade dispute in green, but does not have a green book appearing here. This means that you resolved Sarah's dispute, but you didn't actually change the grade. For Waldo, you resolved his dispute, but there is a green book indicating that you actually did make a grade change. So once you edit the score and you save and submit it, you can reply back to the student and give them a reasoning for your response to their dispute. Students have a one-time opportunity to dispute their grade, and your response to them doesn't start a conversation, as you will immediately resolve the dispute after it's complete. As a TA, you will also be expected to deal with flags that are provided by the students. When a student flags a comment, that means they are reading the comment and they want to flag your attention for it. In the event that it's rude or it's misleading, they want you to remove it. You as the TA have 2 methods of action to resolve that flagged comment. First and foremost, we'll sort and filter by the flags so that all the flagged comments will appear here, so it's easier for you to navigate. We'll click on Drew, and we'll see that his red flag is still outstanding, and it says 1 reported evaluation. You'll be able to view it by scrolling down, and this red notice will come up saying this evaluation was reported as inappropriate by a peer, and your professor, or you and the other TAs, will review this evaluation and decide if it's inappropriate or not. In terms of action, you have 2 options. You can click on Resolve. You can mark it as not inappropriate. If the comment is not inappropriate, much like this comment below, you can leave it as is and keep it on the site and mark it as not inappropriate. If this comment was to have rude language or anything that you felt needs to be removed from the site, you can click on Resolve and click on Inappropriate and remove the evaluation. This will remove the written comment from the site, so the student who's reading it will not be harmed by viewing it in the event that there's rude language or things that should not be on the site. Once you click on Resolve and Inappropriate and Remove Evaluation, the written comment will be removed, and if you were to click on Not Inappropriate, the flag would become green, indicating you've resolved that comment. As a TA, you don't only need to resolve flagged comments or disputes. Feel free to spot check and make any comments as necessary, whether you want to override grades for certain students, or if you just want to provide comments for your students to improve, you don't need a flagged comment or a dispute to do so. You have complete flexibility of overriding grades and comments in the Kritik system. After you've changed all the grades you'd like and resolved all the flags and the disputes, you can scroll up and click on Finalize Activity. At that point, once the activity is finalized, all of the grades will be released to the students. During that grading stage of where we were looking at for this activity, only the creation score was visible to the students. After you finalize, the activity will move from this view here to past activities as finalized and graded, and the students will be able to see their creation score, their evaluation score, and their feedback scores, as well as their overall grade for the activity, which is a combination of these three metrics. The students can view all of their grades, and you can view them as well by clicking on the past activity, scrolling down, clicking on the student. You can see their creation, the grade they received, and you can see their evaluation score if they did complete it. In terms of work after finalizing activity, once an activity moves from this grading stage to finalized, you are unable to change any grades within the Kritik system. You are, however, able to still leave comments on the work if you'd like, and once you finalize an activity, you can click on Course and scroll up and click on Download Gradebook. Once you've done that, you'll be able to get a view of all of these different grading components for the activity, as well as an overall grade that you can then pass on to your LMS so the students can view their grades in their course shell that you've set up. For further information for your access as a TA and learning more about the platform, you can click on the question mark in your Kritik account, click on Help Center, and you'll be redirected to two guides that are built for instructors and for students. By clicking on the instructor's guide, you'll be able to see everything that we've covered today in terms of getting set up and things you can include in your syllabus to invite students to. And you can also see how you can interact with activities, rubrics, late submissions, and a few more things that were not covered today. You can also use our live chat window in the bottom right here to contact our team if you have any questions or concerns or need any help using our site. We hope you have a pleasant experience with Kritik this term, and please do not hesitate to give us feedback in this live chat window as well.